as Angelo Poletti, one of the judges in the Duran-Leonard fight, I remember, in Montreal, and scored a lot of even rounds, but he's not scoring tonight. Round 5, a little bit late coming out for work. Andries got off to a good start. I agree with John Conte's summary that he won 2 of the 3 first rounds. And Williamson came back a bit and spoiled. He's really done a feat, Dennis Andries, as it is coming, as he did, more or less from nowhere, and then went on to win a Lonsdale belt outright at the light heavyweight. And there's been many a great fighter who couldn't do that. And I tell you, it's having another good round at the start of the 5th. As often happens in a championship fight, Jim, I think the durability is going to show here. That's who can take the better punch in the end and not necessarily give it.
Yeah, it's especially, this is going to take a lot of strength, the way they're pushing and mauling and wrestling with each other. So I think the stronger of the two.
So the referee's going to have a look now at Williamson's eye. He didn't bother to call the doctor there. It happened just obviously a bit earlier than that when they were clinching, and I was waiting to get a better view of it, but obviously the referee could see it before me. So cut in the 5th round now, JB Williamson. JB for just bad, and exactly what it is at the moment. Cornerman Jerry Moore getting the coagulates out ready for the champion for when he gets back to the corner. It's difficult to spot that cut even as close as we are, Jim, actually.
Yeah, well, it happened in the previous round. They worked at it in between rounds. There's nothing serious at all. I don't like referees who stop the action to have a look at a minor injury. If the blood was pumping out, fair enough. But the referee should just have a look at it while the boys are working.
Snap it up, Dennis, snap it up.
I think it's a question the referee might want to be seen to be doing his job there rather than, as you say, could have done that between rounds. Well, the Hackney London crowd now really turning the cheers on for Dennis Andries, and so they might. Adopted him, as it were, having been born in Guyana in South America, the old British Guyana as it was known then. So a lot of this there, don't push to Williamson. Getting a bit tired of those little taps after the bell, Andries.
Vauxhall Corsa. Put the fun back into driving. Vauxhall, proud sponsor of Home Nations football.
You just hear that word, cancer. You can't take it in. But then there was Carol, my Macmillan nurse, and she was saying, I can help you through this.
I got really upset when my hair started falling out, as you can imagine. But chatting online at Macmillan, the girls suggested I have it cut short. And yeah, it's okay.
Telling the kids, that's the toughest bit. I don't think I would have coped if Joe from Macmillan hadn't talked me through it.
And then I met Bill. He's a benefits advisor from Macmillan. And now I can stop worrying about money and concentrate on getting better.
Well, I got through it, the cancer. But I know I can still call the Macmillan team if I need them.
We know cancer's a tough journey. So for support every step of the way, call the Macmillan team free on 0808 808 0000 or find us online.
Hi, Hello, I'm Lucy. This is the Cheerios campaign headquarters. We want mums to know kids love Cheerios. And they're made with full whole grains. Oh, look at that. Happy kids, happy mums. Genius.
Cheerios. It's good to say yes.
I love this job.
This young man really enjoys chocolate, biscuit and bubbles, all at the same time.
Alternatively, he could have had a delicious new Mint Aero biscuit. But he didn't know about delicious new Mint Aero biscuits because they're new.
Look for them and you will find them in the biscuit aisle.
New Mint Aero biscuits, also available in orange and milk chocolate.
Vauxhall Corsa, now with 0% APR representative. No minimum deposit and you choose the payment term. That's flexible finance from Vauxhall.
That's Jerry Moore, one of the American cutmen, as they call them in the corners, having to work with the adrenaline, and that's always inspected by the, in this case, the Boxing Board of Controls inspectors, and they apply pressure like that. So they really have to work hard, these cornermen, now, to make sure they can get their man out for the next round. Well, he's got to be pleased so far with his night's work, Dennis Andries. Jim, have a look at this replay.
Yeah, well, Andries appeared to be flagging slightly in that round. He didn't land very many clean punches. These are kind of cuffing punches. But at least he's still letting the punches go and still getting close to the target, not landing cleanly, as you can see. But
into the 6th round, scheduled for 12 rounds, the World Boxing Council Light Heavyweight Championship, 12 stone 7. And getting a bit saucy, isn't he, Dennis Andries? And no doubt for the second half of the fight going to fancy his luck a bit, because he's a good stayer, but on the other hand, Williamson has also proved to be a good stayer. And I don't know what kind of script that Williamson had worked out for this fight. I suppose rather fitting that it's a sponsored by Croxley script, but it certainly isn't working here. All this business about I'll jab his head off and make him miss and so forth, and I can't say I'm over impressed with the champion, Jim, at all.
No, he's not really shaping up as a world champion. He doesn't do anything special at all. He gets himself into a lot of trouble. He's very loose, very disjointed, and Andries is far tighter. He's throwing better punches, I would say.
Good shot, those right hands. And these the people at the back of the hall think, oh, no, that was another shove. Quite right. So a minute to go in the 6th. Well, if confident counts, Jim, I think Andries gives me the impression that he's the one.
Yeah, I think Andries is probably surprised. I think he expected Williamson to be better. And the good start Andries got has certainly given him something to strive for.
Well, the thing is, Jim, when he watched him on film, he said he didn't think too much of him, so he's proved right. Well, his was watching there for the after-time punch, but it didn't come, Andrews, there. So there's one of the judges, dear old Harry Gibbs from London now, who's actually, would you believe, got a Japanese license to be able to judge at a World Boxing Council Championship, and not by the British Board because he's now retired. Well, he's entitled to take all the deep breaths that he can there, Dennis Andrews, isn't he? 3 defences of the British title, won a Lonsdale belt outright, unbeaten. In his last 13, got 1 draw there. And I tell you, this could be a big night for him, following the trail then of the great Freddie Mills and John Conte. So there's a good close-up then of that damaged left eye of Williamson.
Second round, round 7.
Round 7. And the judges hand in their scorecard at the end of each round, and they go to adjudicators table with a WBC representative from Switzerland, actually, just making sure the results right at the end. But if he can keep going like this in the second half, you might have Handry as a winner, but because I really can't see what Williamson can turn on now.
Yeah, well, I thought Williamson trimmed Andrews' lead back slightly in the 4th and 5th round, but Andrews came back well in the 6th round. And I think all Andrews has to really do is to force himself on it. It's not a contest that requires clean-cut, classy boxing. He just has to keep gritting his teeth, pushing himself on, use his superior strength against Williamson, don't give him any room to punch. He's not a difficult man to catch. I thought Williamson would have been a lot more difficult to land on, but he's not. So Andrews, just push himself forward, try to bully Williamson a bit. Don't allow Williamson to back him up.
Might have helped here if the Italian referee could speak the language. I know the amateurs do that, everything with sign language, but it just might have been easier to interpret, I think. Surprised really that Williamson hasn't moved around, used the ring, as they say in boxing, a bit more, Jermaine.
Yeah, well, the way he was speaking before the fight, I expected a lot more class for him, a lot more ability, but he doesn't seem to have too much. He has a fair enough chin because Andrews has tested it once or twice, but there's not really very much else I can say that's good about him. He's a pretty average fighter.
Don't take any credit away from Andrews, just the same though, Jim. All he had to do was fight the opposition, right? He didn't pick the champion, but came from number 8 position to get Williamson to make a voluntary defence for promoter Frank Warren's 4th World Championship promotion, and he's had the underdogs all the time, yet to have a winner. Can he manage it here? The WBA champion at this weight is the old man Marvin Johnson, Pops as he's known in the business. He used to box a lot with Williamson when he lived in Indianapolis. It's all gloves and forearms and elbows. It's all counting at the end of that round. And a word then with the old champion, John Conte.
John, this is a tremendous challenge, isn't it, by Dennis Andrews?
Yes, it's really fantastic. He's drawn the strength out of Williamson with those close quarters. I was worried before that he was going to get caught with the right hand, but as Jim Watt said, he is drawing the strength from him, and it's showing now. I gave that round even. I make him 3 rounds ahead, 3 even, and 1 to Williamson.
What would be your advice now for him for the rest of the fight?
Give himself a bit more room to throw the punches. He needs to give himself a little bit more room, wear the guy down, but don't concentrate too much on wearing him down on the clinches. Give yourself a little bit more room, and it could be all over.
Are you a bit disappointed, finally and briefly, with the champion?
No, not whatsoever. The champion's really fighting a great fight. He's a really good, dangerous champion if he can punch as well.
Thanks, John.
Coming out for round 8 there. Just a bit bit late too, Andrews. So there you are then, John Conte and Jim Watt summing that one up. Well, I have to say, although John Conte was slightly impressed with Williamson, I would have backed Conte to beat him. In fact, I still might back him to beat him. Constant cries of work, work from Andries' corner, throw punches. He's got to keep busy.
See, Andries is standing off in this round, and I don't think that's what he should be doing. He should be getting up close with his strength and bully Williamson, but he's standing off here, giving Williamson a chance to pot shot on him.
He's trying to give himself a bit more room to throw the punches and not crowd in. Perhaps that has some merit, but we'll find out as the contest goes along. Good wins on his record, Williamson. Murray Sutherland, the Scot who lives in Michigan and boxes and won the American title there, and Pete McIntyre's a useful fighter. I've seen him, he won that. So it just might be that Andries has raised his game to make him look not that good a champion.